If you want to help MythVision podcast grow, you can join our Patreon. There are different tiers, as well as help out with PayPal. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment.
Now there were staying at Jerusalem devout Jews from every nation under heaven. And when this sound, the Pentecost, was heard, the multitude gathered and were bewildered in mind, because each heard them speaking in his own language. But they were all amazed and marveled, saying, Behold, are not all these that are speaking Galileans? And how have we heard each his own language in which he was born? Parthians and Medes and Elamites and inhabitants of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt and the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, Jews also and proselytes, Cretans and Arabians. We have heard them speaking in our own languages of the wonderful works of God. That already has Jews who are living way over there coming back periodically to the Jewish feasts. And I have a theory that Ezekiel's preachings about the coming back have to do with somebody's preaching at these festivals to expatriate Jews who have come back, and that telling them to reject their idols and all that. They're trying to say, don't assimilate to your pagan surroundings. But here it assumes there are Jews and proselytes from all over. Oh, and not Israelites. Well, I don't know if there are Jews out there in those areas. Maybe they do mean the survivors, of the descendants of the exile of Assyria.
Interesting. That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, because to me, that would explain also the shell shocker of Cornelius later in the narrative. It's like, hey, this, what the heck? I thought that happened back in chapter 2. Why are we doing this now in chapter 10? Chapter 10, and now we're blown away by it? What the heck? Like, this wasn't expected?
The promises to you and all those who are afar off, and so on. Didn't he already know there would be a Gentile mission? Why does he need to be convinced in the Cornelius thing? And remember, Jesus in Luke says that in your missionary travels, eat whatever they set before you. Doesn't that kind of address the issue? And this is all news? Well, of course, they're just trying to reiterate it in every case, which is a mark of ancient narrative. In a great essay by Todorov, he explains how, like, you're reading the same thing again and again in the Grail stories and in the Odyssey. They keep telling you what's going to happen. And we don't do that anymore. But they did because they wanted to make a point again and again. I'm going to see if I find this thing I came up with about, can you imagine anybody naming his kids Sher, Jashub, and even worse, Meher, Shalal, Hashbaz? Picture the snickering every time the teacher took attendance. Such names, quote, would make life at Warren G. Harding's school a veritable hell, unquote. Oh, Ezekiel 37, the word of the Lord came again to me, saying, You son of man, take for yourself one stick and write on it, for Judah and for the sons of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write on it, for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and all the house of Israel, his companions. Then join them for yourself one to another into one stick, that they may become one in your hand. When the sons of your people speak to you, saying, Will you not declare to us what you mean by these? Say to them, Thus says Yahweh, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his companions, and I will put them with it with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they will be one in my hand. Let's see. But Mormons claim that this passage predicts the discovery of the Book of Mormon and its addition to the Christian canon. According to this reading, the stick of Judah is the Old and New Testaments, while the Ephraim or Israel stick is the Book of Mormon. Mormons suggest that wooden staffs were sometimes inscribed with sacred texts. But wait a second, isn't the Book of Mormon supposed to be the work of Judean expatriates from Jerusalem in ancient America? I think they've got the wrong stick. And then later in the same chapter, thus says Yahweh, behold, I will take the sons of Israel from among the nations where they have gone, and I will gather them from every side and bring them into their own land, and I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel, and one king will be king for all of them. And they will no longer be two nations and no longer be divided into two kingdoms. They will no longer defile themselves with their idols or with their detestable things or with any of their transgressions, but I will deliver them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and will cleanse them, and they will be my people, and I will be their God. Okay, end of quote. Once again, we see that the Jewish, quote, exiles, unquote, are simply diaspora Jewish immigrants and colonists, not just deportees to Babylon. So yeah, I think that's really what's going on there.
You want to dummy it down for me?
That bringing the sons of Israel back from their dwelling places and reuniting them with Judea is a way of preaching to these diaspora Jews who perhaps willingly have relocated there and not prisoners in Babylon, and that the transgressions and all that are practices they've picked up from their Gentile pagan neighbors. So this isn't about negating the whole exile, but it's addressed to these people that would have heard it at the temple by preachers during festivals, where, as in Acts 2, they had all come like Muslims on the Hajj to the center, and it's telling them to shun the idols and the other gods you've picked up here and there.